So this was at 2100 though. So 21/2300 Ana? Junkertown. Pog. 10 minutes? This must have been a stomp.
Prepare to attack.
I normally don't like seeing stomp games because it's hard to like judge what happens in a stomp game. Also, you have a 6 stack on your team. This is gonna be yikes, I can tell. Okay. Good old pirate ship right here. Actually, in all honesty, this is probably one of the best gold comps I've seen in a long time.
One. Attack commences.
Right, let's go. Go.
No, okay, trap. Got the trap, got the trap, got the trap.
So there's a Junker on the left side. Don't be afraid to just zoom in on this guy.
Right.
Nice sleep. Oh. Not really liking that you've already used both of your cooldowns, because Ana without cooldowns is pretty much a dead Ana. So the sleep, I'm not a huge fan of it, but it was good. Like you hit it, like that was nice. And probably if you just scoped in and quick scoped him, like from here, here, probably be enough to kill him, because your team would help you capitalize. So I'm not a huge fan of using both of your cooldowns. I have a feeling it might come back to bite you if they jump you. So there's a Reinhardt on the flank. I definitely need to let your team know that something's up.
Okay, he pinned me.
I don't know why your wrist is in front of the shield.
Okay.
Yeah, we got it. Cool.
They're up here.
Pretty good. Pretty good so far.
Well, no. Yeah, let's be honest.
See purple, you gotta be careful.
Yeah. Fall back, come get closer.
Using your sleep very offensively when they're running Winston. That's very dangerous. Here it is. He's on you. So the team's got to peel back for you.
What? I hooked him. Okay.
Oh, monkey's won.
Your team's actually doing a pretty good job of peeling though for you. For a gold game, this is actually really well done. Okay, so here he comes again.
Oh my god.
You want to save your nade, nade slash heals most of the time for after the Winston hits the ground, because he's not going to kill you for a couple seconds. So when the Winston hits the ground, if he lands on top of you, like on your head, that's 50. Punches, now I'm saying there's no gold Winstons that probably do this very often, are Tesling on the way in and then punch. So that's probably about 85 damage, depending what the Tesla, how much do they hit you with, because it should be 50-30. That's still, then it's 60 per second after that. So it's like you're going to survive for a little while on Ana, unless you have like a very good Winston on you and you don't have much time at all. But, you know, you kind of panic and use your nade here very quickly just to try to hit him. And it's just the biggest debate of Reinhardt's. I mean, not Reinhardt's. I'm looking at Reinhardt. Of Winston's ever. Just don't be afraid to save it, step through his bubble, then hit him with it. Because you'll survive that.
Oh my god.
You'll be fine.
Oh!
You're powered up. Get in there.
Not a bad sleep, honestly. I don't mind that one.
Lucy on me.
Yeah, I got him.
Another offensive nade. You needed heals yourself here. And something you could easily do here is just step towards him. So like as you were trying to run away from him or whatnot right here, and he's trying to E you down, you're not really going to survive by going in this corner here. So it's just stepping towards him and just Eing the ground would be not only hitting him, but hitting yourself as well. And probably would be enough to keep you alive.
No!
Went for your back, so no low. Hold on, let me pause this right there. Is this it? Okay, back to it. So you died here. Going back.
I'll rest when the fight is done.
A lot of offensive use of Ana's abilities. Ana's abilities are much better used defensively. Offensively is kind of a risk that you don't really want to take until you really understand and like, know what you're doing. Like people do it because they see their favorite, like, you know, pro player or streamer or somebody like hitting big purples and stuff and whatnot. But like it's not easy, and it's a much bigger risk than people think.
Oh, okay.
So far though, mechanics are actually pretty good. Missed the Orisa with the nade though. I think you were trying to land both of them. I think you know, you just want to try to see if you could hit both with the same nade, and end up just being just the Lucio, which the Lucio didn't really need heals, just the Orisa really needed it. Offensive. That's a tire, that's unlucky. Diva ate it, I think? No, it hit the ground. It hit the ground.
Oh, rip.
Lucio.
Oh, not gonna have.
Loading.
Gangster actually pretty good.
Oh, okay.
You see right there. It just hit the ground right there.
Okay.
Just missed.
Oh god. Last.
Oh, a different one? No.
This will only hurt.
It was that one. That one hit too.
Okay.
So that's unlucky. That was a tire. Still, though, very offensive uses of sleep so far.
I have my own.
Look in, combine it
Old
with mine.
soldiers are hard to
Give it a
kill.
second. Alright, let's go.
This comp is actually very difficult to retake with once you lose the cart. Oh, you've actually switched off to a Hanzo. That's not too bad.
Yep, go.
You need to make the call out that there's a Hanzo behind on you because you're not healing during this.
Shit.
So your Hanzo ends up dealing with him, but you lose your anti-nade to it. So it's like, that's not a great trade. In all honesty. All things considered. Oh, that's gonna suck.
Do I change out of pop?
60 seconds. You're going to.
Your team is actually needs a lot of heals for this, but you're also running a Moira. So Moira, you don't need the Ana and Moira. You need one. So it's like when you see their team when they run Moira, you either need to ask them like, hey, can you go Lucio, or can you go Zen, or can you go something like Brig, or you need to go one of those. Because Moira Ana is just a lot of heals that you don't really need, because this comp isn't really a heal-heavy comp. Orisa Hog is one of the least heal-needing tank duos. Actually, no, the least needing heals tank duo in the game. These are nice sleeps, though. Like, these are huge. The nade, good nade. Like lots of offensive, capabilities. If you just use some of these for defensive capabilities, I feel like it would be really well done. Left and right, just nailing them. This is actually pretty good. You don't really need to heal anybody right now, so going on the offensive. Nade, I wouldn't use that there, just because, that's a very low chance nade. Finish this diva if you can. Unlucky you didn't hit her. But your team definitely needs heals now. Oh, you're losing everybody. You're losing it. So, okay. So around, you can kind of recognize it. Right around this moment, I'll point it out to you. Right at this moment, right here, is when you need to go back into heal mode. So you go for the diva. This is actually fine, right? But if you do this, if you go for this baby diva, you need to stay on her. So you hit her once, right? If you hit her this second time, she's dead. But you kind of look away here, right? I want you to watch. You go to look to somebody else. So you look at her, and then you kind of look towards the cart to see if anybody needs healing, and then go back to her. So it's just not enough. It's okay to sometimes to tunnel vision on a target. That would be actually an okay target to tunnel vision on. Because if you kill this remake, right, who doesn't die here? She eats your heal shot and then kills him. So if you kill her, Hanzo doesn't die. Hanzo doesn't die, he doesn't need your heal nade. Which misses anyways. Your heal nade can go here. But if Hanzo's not getting hurt over here, if he's okay, you can focus this. So when the barrage comes out, it's too late by the time you recognize it. So she goes down. And then it snowballs from there. I could have killed the diva if I had the nade. Another true possibility. Even when you're talking about when they went towards the choke with the offensive nade for going for the Reinhardt. Yeah. I didn't even think about that, but I did. I said I didn't like that nade. Nade is not one of those just use off cooldown abilities. Ana is not a use off cooldown ability user. She is hold that bitch until you absolutely need it. So biggest thing so far, out of anything so far, like positioning's not bad. Mechanics is pretty good actually for this SR. Cooldowns. And especially if you're not going to communicate, like you didn't talk about the Hanzo being behind or their tanks being on the left side in the beginning. If you're not going to communicate, you need to be perfect with your cooldowns. Because if you're not perfect with your cooldowns, then you're not self-sufficient. If you're not self-sufficient, your team's going to get fucked on.
I'm gonna call out what I see.
5, 4, 3,
Jesus Christ.
1.
Ryan,
I remember.
I've been off on these.
Are you communicating? I didn't see your mic light up.
Lucio
I hope
Lana.
then.
Ryan went up to me. You're gonna be in this room.
I'm just watching this because I don't know what your voice is.
That's me. That's me. That's me. Oh, there we go.
This is when it's okay to be offensive a little bit. Not anymore, but during the beginning phase right there, that's actually an okay time to throw a grenade. Just because nobody's going to need healing for a couple seconds. Unlucky, they got purple. They wake them up. That's gold though. That happens all the time even in GM. That's why, like, sometimes these sleeps are actually really good. Like, really good sleeps. Like, sleeping that Reinhardt is actually a big play. But, like, it wasn't as big of a play because he gets woken up right away. So it's like, if you save it for later on here, what might happen? Like, you might be okay. You might want to try to save it until you genuinely need it because your team's not able to peel for you. Or... Lucky. That was a very lucky remake. And it's immediately deleted again. Like right here, you can nade yourself. Go for the offensive, and it's right in the shield. So instead of you having now, 200 HP, you gotta wait for your mercy to come get you. Go to sleep. Offensive. Offensive is only like the big risk, high reward plays that you genuinely need at that moment. That's a good nade, but the one reason that was a good nade is because the Reinhardt's frozen. If you recognize this Reinhardt's frozen and naded here, that's a good read. That's a good nade. That was actually pretty good. However, though, the fight's already kind of turned, so they just shield up and wait. That's a good sleep. That's just your wrist is an idiot. That's a good sleep, though. Unfortunately, this game's over by this point. But those couple small decisions along the way might have made a different impact on offense. Defense, maybe not, but like on offense, 100%. The junk doesn't die here? How come? Let me go back.
I'm dead.
It's a good question. Well, if he's full HP, it does 60 per shot, so he would technically survive. Just nobody touched him. Is that a 60 per shot? I thought it was 60. No, it's 70. Isn't it? He might have just got barely healed there. You hit all 3 shots.
Okay.
That's a pretty good nade. I thought it was 70. It is 70, actually. You're right. This game's over. Good nade, also since low risk because shield was broken. I didn't hear his shield actually break, but you're right. That was a good nade just in general. If you made the read, if that was just like a huck-it nade, that's not great. But if you made the read that is the reason why he threw that nade, that's good. That's a good nade. I thought it was 70. I think it is 70. I think I might be just an idiot. Okay. Unfortunately, this game's not very long, which is, kind of unfortunate because the longer a game you send me, like where you do well, the more I can go on. Unfortunately, I only have so much here, but your mechanics are very good for this low of a gold, for like mid to low gold. Very good. Definitely the cooldown usage is your number one. 100% is your number one right now. You're able to really keep people alive with your shots. Like, these are great shots. That's where, like, this right here, this specific play is just like, you might have been able to heal yourself and anti him, and might be able to shoot him. Because your mechanics are actually good enough, you might have been able to duel that Hanzo. Because it's a gold Hanzo. He's nothing special either, Plus, when you're really backed into a corner like that, it's fight. You gotta fight your way out. If your team's not able to peel for you. And it's okay to do that.
Oh, I'm not gonna have a good time here.
I love the call of, yeah, I'm just not gonna have a good time here. See, like, these shots, these are actually, like, really good gold shots. Like, In some ways, your aim might actually be better than mine, which is kind of sad to think about it. But overall here, just clean up some of these cooldown usages. Feel free to submit another one when it's a little bit longer, something I can get a little bit more meat out of. And I guarantee you'll see some improvement. I guarantee. Because the mechanics are not holding you back. Your positioning's not bad either. You're pretty, like when you're here, let me go to a different spot. Let's just pick a random spot, right? This is not bad, right? Like this position right here is not bad. You're kind of out of the line of sight up here if they had a Widow or snipers. You're still close enough to be hitting nades and to help your team, or they can peel for you if needed. Like, this is a pretty decent spot for an Ana to be. Like, you're playing mostly these boxes right here. Like, this positioning right here, this is fantastic. This is very good positioning. It's just these plays like that.
I'm so high ground on the right.
Like you said, yeah, you wanted if you had nade here, this would have been different. If you had nade on cooldown, you could have killed her right there. I didn't see that the first time, but you're 100% right. Hanzo doesn't die. You don't have to look at him. You can help the Pharah in her barrage. She gets more value. Maybe doesn't die in it. And the steamroll doesn't, you know, hit as hard, unfortunately. Little things like that. It is hard to play, like, you know, the non-hard carry roles in lower levels, because, like, you know, if I played in a gold game, I just play Tracer, and then that's it. Like, you're done. You know, that's it. But if you're going to play, like, main tank, support, stuff like that, like, stuff like you're going to have to really play the role to, like, work your way through, you have to play almost everything perfectly. You know? It's just the truth. In high-level games, a support player can be the hardest carrier in your team, but in a low elo game, not so much. In my opinion, at least. So be more conservative with your abilities. I say think about them more. It's okay to be aggressive, but not every play needs to be aggressive, because almost every one of your cooldowns this entire game was offensive. And there was many times if you had it on defense, you could have thrown a nade. So like the nade's ability is not only for 100 extra heals, but on top of that you can heal everybody more. So like one shot does more healing once you hit them with the nade. So it's like you don't have to hit them as often. So it's like, let's say you just hit Reinhardt with a nade, you only have to shoot him once, and then he'll be okay. Then you can move on to someone else and then come back to Rein, because he'll be okay for those couple seconds, because he just got a huge burst of healing with the nade and the shot. But if you don't hit those nades, then you have to literally shoot every shot to heal them. It takes a lot longer. If they're taking damage, it's kind of like you're just sitting there like watching the more critical signs pop up, and it's like, oh my god, I'm losing control. Everybody's slipping away. And once everybody kind of slips away, it's kind of GG at that point. So cooldown's #1 for you. I'd like to see something that's a little longer, maybe to go through some more stuff. Positioning is actually really good for gold. Mechanics is actually very good for gold. Cooldown #1 though, by far. 100% by far.